platform 2 will be the 1822 Torpedo service to Auckland and Mavic.
Good morning, how are you? Welcome to a slightly drizzly but absolutely breathtaking October morning in the Scottish Highlands. So the reason I'm here is that I've somehow found myself working on a film project up in Edinburgh for about 9 or 10 weeks, and so obviously the first thing I thought was I am definitely going to use one of my weekends off to hop on a train up to the Highlands and do something that I've been meaning to do for a very, very, very long time, which is have an overnight solo wild camp up in Scotland. I started researching where would be a good place, and I stumbled across a place called Carrow. I'm going to stop actually because it's just amazing. Carrow Station, I'm sure you know, holds the prestigious title of being Britain's most elevated train station. High praise indeed for any British mainland public transport system. The views from the train were just as incredible as being here. They just kept getting better and better the further we went, and ended up at Carrow Station. You can probably see it just over there. The cafe was open, which is nice. It's one of the reasons why I chose here actually, because it had access by train and had a lovely cafe to sort of set me up for the camp, but it's still only accessible by train. You can't hear a thing here, it's absolute bliss. Having fueled myself with a bacon and brie toastie, I'm now on the short walk, relatively short walk, between the station and the cafe and Loch Ossian. Just coming up on the loch now. Weather's holding. It's threatening a bit. Some of the mountain tops are in the cloud. I think what I'm going to do is the main path I'm walking along starts to head along the south bank of the loch. I'm going to actually take the north bank one to try and be able to walk away from me. I found on a forum a grid reference of it, somewhere that someone's camped before that they said was really gorgeous and very secluded. So I'm going to try and head there first, see what it's like. But you know, when you find places online where someone's already been, it's likely that someone else has read that too and it's become a bit of a hotspot. So I'll see what it's like, and if not, I'll just carry on around the edge of the loch until I find somewhere I like and pitch up camp. So yeah, as I thought, pretty obvious that someone's been here before, but you can absolutely see why. It's a beautiful spot, and down here looks like a great beach spot. So camp's nearly all set up now, and I walked along the north shore of the loch and found the spot I had found the grid reference for on that forum, and sure enough, it's very clear that people have been here before. It's obviously a very popular spot. There's at least 3 or 4 different fire pits that had been set up before, including one quite dangerous one where the actual peat underneath the earth had clearly set fire. That's kind of the reason you don't set fires on boggy ground or grassy ground up in the Highlands, because that fire can travel underneath the grass and cause fires in other parts without you even knowing, so it's pretty dangerous. But otherwise, this is just about the most beautiful spot I think I've ever camped in. The sun has started coming out again, Weather-wise, it was threatening a little bit, and it did start to rain in dribs and drabs, but never for more than a couple of minutes and only very light. And now it seems to have laid off completely, but you know, it's Scotland, so it could change any minute now. The only real flat piece of ground to camp on was this little beach section, which is great. We've got the sound of the lapping waves, which will hopefully help me get to sleep tonight. And the view down the other end of the loch is just, and it's incredible. It's so calming. It's just picture perfect in every way. And the sun points at you in the evening and onto the landscape in the morning, which is just going to look incredible when I wake up, so I can't wait till sunrise. But for now, coming up to 4 o'clock, so about an hour and a half of sunlight left, it's just turned into a glorious evening. I can't believe how lucky I am with the sun. I can see miles away some little bits of rain happening over there, but I can't hear anything except the water. There are no cars, no people. Everything I've wanted in a wild camp. I highly recommend this experience to anyone. So if you're not interested in gear, I suggest you skip over this bit, but I bought a couple of new bits for this trip in particular. First thing I did was upgrade my Van Gogh Trek Compact sleeping mat, and instead I bought the Thermarest Neo Air. It's a quarter of the size of my previous one. It's 1/8 of the weight, but the one complaint I've heard is that it is a bit crinkly and noisy to sleep in, so we'll see how that is tonight. In terms of setting it up, it was really easy. It comes with this bag that you use to inflate it. You blow once lightly into the bag and it keeps about 3 lungfuls worth of air inside, and you just use the bag, squeeze the bag to put that into the Thermarest. Cooking wise, this is to go with my MSR pocket stove. We've got a pocket stove, but the pot that comes with it, which also has a little plastic top for serving it, is big enough to hold a small gas canister and the stove inside, so it's all one compact compartment. So that was, I think, a good investment, and we'll see tonight when I cook up some food on it. My initial plan was to use this. I've got a Robin's twig stove, which I've owned for about 2 years now and have never used. We've had a lot of rain recently, so I don't know if any wood around here is going to be dry enough to set fire to, hence bringing the stove with me as a backup. But hopefully I'll get that up and going. Finally I got myself a little titanium mug. Tea. So this is my MSR Elixir 2 tent. I've had it for a few years now. We've been around the NC 500 route with it, and yeah, actually that's pretty much the only major trip it's done so far. But I'm hoping for more of these solo overnighters to use it a lot more. Inside the tent there you'll see is the one bit of kit that I'm hoping to upgrade again very shortly, and that's my sleeping bag, which is the Rab Ignition V3. It's very warm, very cozy, but it doesn't pack down very small at all, and I'm really trying to get some smaller kit down so I don't have to carry so much on my back. I swear to God, this cig bottle wasn't placed like a product placement. I did just put it in the sand, but it looks like I've deliberately placed it there as advertising, doesn't it? Food tonight is Summit to eat pasta bolognese. Never had any of the dehydrated instant like camp food before, so we'll see how that goes. The one thing I did bring that I don't know if I'll use is my swimming trunks, because I left myself open to the possibility that I could go for a bit of a wild swim later. I will admit, when the sun was out it was quite tempting to get in, but I've just felt the water and it's pretty cold. grab some water now to have my pasta bolognese. And it says wait 10 minutes at the end there. So I'm gonna boil up this water. In fact, it's on the way there now. And then I've got 10 minutes to do something in. Well, I think that was one of the stupidest things I've ever done. Oh, that looks good. I officially now can't feel my toes, or anything below the ankle really, and I don't know if I ever will again. I'm going to try this. This is done though. Pretty nice actually. No clean up afterwards, of course. Well, I didn't go under anyway, but I'm glad I went in at least. It's something I was saying that I might do, so I'm glad I did. Morning. It's about 7:30 in the morning now, and it's a beautiful morning. I wish it was as beautiful when I went to bed last night, but what happened was I left my camp to go back towards the station to try and link up to a bit of 4G, and that was fine. But on the walk back, it takes about 40 minutes to walk back, it started raining, which is no real big problem but by the time I got back to my tent I discovered that several of my guy lines had come loose and the tent was letting in water through the top quite bad. So I had to spend 10 or 15 minutes going around the outside and tightening all the guy lines, and then using some stones to put over the tent pegs to make sure they stayed in place. And I've woken up this morning and they are still in place. The weather died down eventually, but lessons learned there for next time, of which there will certainly be a next time, because this is just such a wonderful experience. I'm having such a good time. And in fact, this morning I woke up to the sound of deer. It's October, so it's the rut season. On both sides of the loch, on the south side over there and the north side here, you could just hear the mooing of male deer calling to each other across the loch. You might be able to still hear it now, actually. And it was incredible. It was really cool. I can hear them, but I don't know if you can. So that's most of the camp all strike down now. I've just come to the other side of the little peninsula I'm on to enjoy a different view for the morning. In a minute I'm gonna strike the tent, strike the cooking stuff, pack up the bag ready to go. I've still got a couple of hours till the train leaves. It takes about 40 minutes to get back to the station. So I think I'm just gonna have a little wander along the shore here and take some photos and just see what I find. that I've reached my 10,000 step goal for the day, and I haven't even left Curragh